We're making American government in politics tenable. Making American government in politics more understandable. Presented by citizenu.org. Today's theme, campaigns. Today we'll be looking at campaigns in elections. Campaigns and elections. When looking at campaigns and elections, you have to look at the handlers, professional image makers, branding candidates. The modern campaign demands much more than a few whistle stops and posters. Handlers coordinate advance work, scheduling, speech writing, media, polling, finance, and spin. Electability once anchored on character, with modern-day marketers handling candidates, winning now depends more on likability. Handlers, the professional image makers of our politics, branding candidates. We're looking at campaigns and elections. The following 10 words will make campaigns and elections more understandable, more tenable. Presidential midterm. According to the Constitution, federal elections are held every 2 years. Midterm elections occur 2 years into a president's term. The president's political party usually loses seats in midterm elections. With endless politicking and frequent elections, it is not uncommon to talk about the permanent campaign. Presidential elections are held every 4 years. Presidential midterm elections. Why is turnout higher for presidential elections? Why do presidents lose seats in most midterm elections? Motor voter bill. In 1992, a Democratic Congress hoped to make voting easier. By passing the motor voter bill, all citizens could register to vote while renewing their driver's license. This law was a federal attempt to encourage more and more citizens to vote. With the motor voter bill, no significant increase in turnout was realized. Motor voter bill. Do you think voting should be made easier? Horse race journalism. Horse race journalism describes the tendency of the national media to focus on who is winning at any given time during a presidential campaign. Some would say this occurs at the expense of covering the issues. Horse race journalism is often held responsible for creating a bandwagon effect, or worse, self-fulfilling prophecies. Horse race journalism. Who is responsible for horse race journalism? Do you think voters today are more or less informed? Bandwagon effect. A bandwagon effect occurs when voters support a candidate because they want to be part of what they perceive of as a winning campaign. Popularity can often snowball into a bandwagon effect. Voters want to be on the winning side. Bandwagon effect. Why do you suppose voters are influenced by bandwagon effects? Hard money, soft money. There are many ways to give money to a presidential campaign. All face significant legal limitations. Hard money is the campaign cash given to specific candidates. Soft money, as we know it, was banned in the McCain-Feingold bill back in 2002. Soft money was the unlimited monies we once were allowed to give to the national political parties. Hard money versus soft money. Explain the advantages and disadvantages of giving money to political parties over the candidates. PACs. Political action committees, or PACs, are created for the express purpose of raising money for particular causes and candidates. When looking at PACs, one notices that the vast majority represent business interests. PACs continue to play an important role in campaigns and elections. PACs. What is the advantage of giving money to PACs? Cattle show. Cattle shows are the name given to the campaign practice of bringing together all of a political party's candidates for president at one time and listening to them debate. Because there are primary contests in most of the states, these cattle shows can occur dozens and dozens of times. The standard to be president appears to be you cannot make too many verbal slips, so the stakes are high at the cattle show. Cattle show. Discuss the costs and benefits of campaign cattle shows for American democracy. Incumbency. Incumbency characterizes our United States Congress. An incumbent is an elected official seeking re-election. Close to 90% of all sitting members of the House of Representatives win when seeking re-election. Incumbent advantages include name recognition, ease of raising campaign cash, free postage called franking, and of course, constituent service. Incumbency. Explain advantages and disadvantages of high levels of incumbency. Pseudo events. The challenge for the modern handler is to create, albeit artificially, the next big story. These seemingly benign non-stories that receive big media attention are called pseudo events. A pseudo event could be a press conference or coverage of a candidate showing up at a ball game. Either way, voters are often deceived by pseudo events. Pseudo events. How can we guard against being influenced by pseudo events? Should we? Bush versus Gore, 2000. It has been said that tough cases make bad law. Bush v. Gore may be one of those Supreme Court cases. A constitutional crisis, however, was looming. The state of Florida was fighting over disputed ballots in the 2000 presidential election. The U.S. Supreme Court ruled to uphold state sovereignty over elections. Many wondered about the legitimacy of an election seemingly decided by 5 justices over the millions of votes cast across the nation. Bush v. Gore, 2000. How would you have decided in this case? Explain your rationale. We're here making American government and politics tenable. We're here to make American government and politics more understandable, one word at a time. Presented by citizenu.org.